Test one. Test 1 2 1 2. Good evening. The meeting of the Revere Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. I ask that you rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of the members, Mr. Lemonna. Here. Yes, Mr. Lopes. Here, Mr. O'Brien. Here, Mr. Pelton. Here, and Chairman Tucker.
Here.
Here, quorum is present. First item on tonight's agenda is application A2428, Alcione Samoa, 7 View Street, requesting a variance of section 1724070A, no parking in the front yard, and section 1724070A4, 40% of the front yard must be landscaped to enable the appellant to provide for 2 parking spaces in the front yard of 7 View Street.
Is anyone here to represent the applicant? Okay, kindly step up to the microphone, press the button, and state your name and address for the record, please.
Alcione Samoa, 7 View Street, Revere.
Okay, do you wish to add anything to this, or the application speaks for itself?
Actually, I requested.
Oh. Touch it once, and then you don't have to touch it again.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
There you
you.
go.
I actually requested for 3 parking space on the plot plan that I sent. It showed 3 parking spaces in the front of the house.
Oh, it's for parking in the front yard. That's why this one doesn't count here.
There's 2
These
in
are
the
for
front yard and 1 on
It's
the
for front yard
side.
parking, yeah.
Yes, it's sort of like the side of the house, yes.
Okay, do you have anything more to add, or that's it?
Well, when we purchased the house back in April of 2021, the house was like that. The front of the house was already paved, and unfortunately, we did not do our part of as a buyer to check if that was legal or illegal. And now that it is how it is, we would wish to keep it like that because there is not a lot of parking space on our street either. And our house is a 2-family house, so we have people that actually also rent from us. And that's why we would like for you guys to give us permission to keep as it is.
So you're saying that you did no paving at all? You didn't repave that or anything?
No, it was-
It's the same as it's been?
Yes. And my neighbor is here. He owns a garage next to us, and he been there longer than we were, and it was like that before.
Okay, I don't see the abutters pictures side to side. Let me see one. And there's no sidewalks there, right? It's
No.
Okay.
It's a dead-end street.
Okay, seeing that it's a public hearing, I do have to open it up. Are there any proponents? Anyone in favor? If you're in favor, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. So if you don't mind stepping aside.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Arthur Arsenault. I have the garage next door to them. I've been here for probably 25 years. They're actually the 3rd owner of that house. The previous owner before them is who put the hot top down. And then they moved to Florida. And but there's no place to park on the street, only at the end. There's 2 places you park at the end of the street. And how's it gonna get plowed? How's it gonna be, you know, when they come along with the sweepers? You know, I have some pictures to show you exactly where they are and how it comes up to my garage, you know? But I've
If
been here
you'd
for...
like to present them to the clerk, we
Yes.
can take a look at
Yes.
them. And if you don't mind giving your address.
All right, I live in Saugus. I used to be there
Okay.
for many years.
So you own the
ago.
property next door?
Yes, I own the property next door.
And the property address is?
Well, I don't know whether you call it zero or whatever, you know? But it's, to me, you know, I get the bill from the electric company as zero, so.
But you have them listed as an abutter?
This is, let me just put that. Is this the garage over here?
And my property runs all the way down the back.
Okay. That's Mr. Arsenault, Laura
Yeah.
Arsenault, okay.
That's 7 View
Yep.
Street. That's Mr. Arsenault.
Okay.
You know, so now the problem, you know, there, everybody's always parked there in that house. And then the gentleman that lives across the street is handicapped. So he's been parking out in the street because he does not have a driveway, you know? Normally I don't park anything in the driveway where I am either, you know? I just keep a lot of my stuff in there, you know, instead of throwing away a lot of stuff, I keep it in there. And if I want to, you know, do something there, I do it. But I've been here for a long time. I just, you know, so, but
Okay.
there is no way for anybody to park there. So that's going to block the street off if they can't park on that property. But
So
it's been like
you're
that.
in favor, that's what we need to know,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
am
gonna
in
go
favor.
on with the
I've been
next
here
person.
I've been here for almost 25 years, and my son was down on Walnut Street that adjoins the property down in the bottom, you know?
Okay.
And I've been there that long, and, you know, I see everything that's going on up there.
All right,
I just
thank you
think-
very
all
much.
right? I hope everybody agrees to leave it alone.
Okay, we
All right.
still have a hearing to go on
Yeah, I
to, so
know.
are there any other
All right,
proponents?
thank you. No, one back. And also,
Are
did
there-
everybody see him?
Everybody's seen them.
Yeah, good, all right.
Are
Thank
there any
you.
other proponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members?
I got a question. I drove down there today, and I know there's a mixed use of parking. Some houses have parking in front of the house, some are on the side of the house.
A lot of that area, a lot of people use the front of the yard as parking, as the street is very narrow.
Right, right. My only concern would be, you have a stairway right out front there. So would they need to get the building department and the fire department involved to where you can put your parking lanes? Because you can't park right in front of your entrance.
But my entrance, that's a side entrance, a second entrance. The entrance is where we have, how the plot plan was built, was designed. There is no parking in front of the actual main entrance to the house.
Park space, that's that entryway.
That's the
from house
entryway,
fronting the
right.
street.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, you got a two-family, right?
Yes,
So how many cars total in that house?
3. So my husband and mine and our tenant.
So you wouldn't be able to fit 3 cars there?
Yes.
You would?
So it's one on the side and 2 in the front.
Side.
Yes.
This one here. I see, there's one on the side. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My concern is you're asking for front yard parking, but yet your parking spaces are not the legal size. They should be 9 by 18, and these are 8.5 by 17, 8.5 by 17, and the one on the right is 8.5 by 17, but I'm sure that could be a 9 by 18 parking space. So I would think that you're not just coming for front yard parking, you'd be coming for a reduced parking space as well. Am I correct, Ashley? Oh, no.
I did not see that on Frank's letter, however.
No, I didn't see it. I don't know who drew up this plan for you.
Vineyard, I think Vineyard,
Okay,
I forgot the name.
because
The
I
full
don't know
name.
why he'd put 8.5 by 17 when you should have a 9 by 18 space.
But it does have enough space for the 8 by 18, maybe it was.
No, it's 9
I'm sorry,
by 18.
9, it does have enough space for 9, maybe he just made it wrong, because I think it's 79 feet, the front of the house.
Yeah, I have a concern that the plot plan does not depict the proper size spaces. So I would make a motion to continue and so we can get a new plot plan. Because I don't think we should be voting on this. Frank Stringy didn't even bring it to our attention, or, well, site plan review, I shouldn't say Frank Stringy. So
I second that motion.
there's a motion on the floor to continue this so that the applicant can get us a new plot plan with the 9x18 parking spaces. And if not, then they would come back to site plan review asking for that type of, or they just come to us. They have to go to site plan review again?
It's just with, it's up to you guys, it's really your decision. I mean, generally, she's asking for, I guess, the other variance would be production part. So she probably
So you'd have to go back to site plan review just to,
should do that as significant change.
yep. So there's a motion seconded. I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Shall the zoning board of appeals continue this matter to the January meeting? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Yes, Mr. Lopes?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Pelton?
Yes.
Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this matter will be continued.
I have one question for you. Why did you decide to come up? Did you get cited by the parking department?
Yes,
Okay,
$300 every week
okay.
for 7 weeks.
Excuse me, I have one other question for you.
Yes.
Was this house originally built as a two-family house, or was it converted?
I believe it was since the beginning a two-family house.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so just for your edification, you're gonna have to speak to the gentleman who drew up these plans, because the spaces should be 9x18. If that can't be done, on all, I think you can do it on two of them. If you couldn't do it on the one to the left and the, facing the house, then he'd have to go back to site plan review so that they could then, you'd be coming to us for not only front yard parking variance or side yard, but the space size.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sorry, can I just, one more question? Until the next meeting, will I still be getting?
That I don't know, so you should go right to inspectional services and ask them that question. You can tell them that we have continued this for the clarification of the proper parking space sizes. Okay? Thank you.
Next application is A2429, Kyle Russo and Dylan Russo, 74 Quincy Ave, Winthrop, Mass., requesting a variance of section 1740070 with respect to the requirement that no nonconforming lot shall be further reduced in area and frontage in order to file an A&R plan for lots 112 and part lot 113 at 26 Tapley Ave and lot 111 at 30 Tapley Ave to enable the appellant to construct a new single-family dwelling on lot 111 at 30 Tapley Ave.
Good evening. If you press the button, then it will turn red and you can, there you go.
Good evening,
Name and
Mr.
address for the
Chairman,
record.
members of the Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is Edward Valenzola. I'm an attorney representing the applicant. One of my clients, Kyle Russo, is here with me to my right. So this started off when my clients tried to file an A&R plan. And Frank Stringy explained that you have to have your parking off the street. You have to have off-street parking. So we revised the plan, and Frank sent a letter, and I've spoken with him a few times. We had to move the property line in order to get the off-street parking, and as a result, we created a couple of nonconformities. And the letter was part of the package, but I'd like to hand it out to you if it's easier to have it in front of you, because he outlines clearly the relief we're looking for, and then I'll talk about the relief. So if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, sure.
So there are two lots here. If you're looking at the plan that we filed, number 26 and number 30, Tapley. So if you're looking from the street, 26 is on the left, that's an existing home. And if you're, again, from the street side, number 30 is to the right, and that's a vacant lot right now. So you could see the two driveways and between the two properties. And what we had to do is nudge the property line at number 26 over just a bit in order to get the two driveways. And it's that bolded line between the two properties. By doing that at number 30 Tapley, the vacant lot, what we've done is we've reduced the frontage from 41.5 feet to 39.1. We need 40, so we're less than a foot in compliance. And so we need that relief. What we also did was we reduced the lot size from 3621 square feet down to 3499. It still meets the minimum requirement of 3,000 square feet, but in Frank's determination, because we're taking a non-conforming lot, and these are the merged lots under the new bylaw, where they've been always shown as separate lots, they've been recorded as separate lots at the Registry of Deeds with the tax assessor. But because technically they're considered non-conforming lots, when we went from 3621 square feet down to 3499 square feet, we need relief from that. But again, we still meet the minimum 3,000 square foot requirement. So that's 30 Tapley, the vacant lot on the right. If you look at 26 Tapley, that's the house lot. And on that lot, we're actually increasing the square footage from 2724 square feet, 2,724, up to 2,847 square feet. So we're just under the 3,000 that's required for that lot, but we've taken a nonconformity of being only 2724, we've increased it a bit. So we need relief, a variance for that. On the plan, they show on the left side of number 26, on the side of the house, they show 8.2 foot setback, and 10 feet is required. I don't believe, and Frank hasn't indicated in his letter, I think he's in agreement, we don't need relief for that because we're not touching that property line. The building is there, it's pre-existing with an 8.2 foot setback. Again, this is all required as a result of the off-street parking, so the vehicles won't be parked out in the street. These have always been shown as separate lots. I filed with the package the plans from the Registry of Deeds. There was a assessor's plan I filed and highlighted the lots. So they've always been designated as separate lots, but title merged because they abutted. The lot sizes and the frontage, if you look at other lots in the area, it's consistent with the other lots in the area, the frontage and the lot layout. I would contend that the hardship here is the shape of the lots. If you look at the rear property line, it's an angle that reduces the size of each lot. And also a financial hardship. And in all other respects, other than the relief I just outlined, in all other respects, we comply, these lots comply with zoning. And this relief requested is consistent with the intent of the City Council and its preamble to try to allow homes on these merged lots. And I'm not sure how many of these have come before you, but I understand the bylaw may have only been enacted 2023 in the last couple of years. And it's happening statewide. We're seeing this in a lot of towns and with state legislation to try to help people that have these merged lots that didn't know 30, 40, 50 years ago, you should hold them in separate titles, separate names, so they own them and then they merge and then they become non-compliant. So this lot that's number 30 that's vacant, it's consistent. It's actually bigger than number 26, and it's consistent with the other lots in the area. So I did speak with the ward councilor, Anthony Cogliandro. I'm embarrassed, I'm Italian, and I'm not doing justice to his name. Earlier today, he said he's heard from no one, he didn't see any issues. If there were any, he thinks he would have heard from people. My client took the plans and took some papers, and he walked around to the abutters, knocked on their doors. He did speak to the gentleman across the street who said he supported it, and I can represent that to you, that he supports this relief. The others basically said they had no feelings one way or another. And so with that, I will answer any questions you might have for me or my client.
Seeing that it's a public hearing, we'll have to ask if there's any other proponents. Is there anyone, a proponent, anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Anyone opposed? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. I do have a question. Looking at the large plan here, the parking spaces on the left side of number 26 do not conform to our parking standards, because it's 8 by 2 rather than 9. And you don't even depict the length of the parking space, which, well, it does, it says 18, so that's good. Would that, you'd need a parking, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't show the parking dimensions on the number 30. There's no parking dimensions listed. It shows 12 feet wide, but it doesn't show the dimensions coming down, which I would believe are it's probably the 18 feet, which they would have to depict on the plan here.
The line in the middle, the dark line, it looks like it's showing 47 feet from the back of the parking spaces out
Yeah.
to the front, so that whole length is 47, and at number 30, it shows it's 12 feet wide at least.
Right, but 12 feet wide. It doesn't depict the parking spaces being 9 feet wide, which it should. It's supposed to depict it on the plan.
Yeah, if I may just jump in here real quick. So I brought this in front of site plan review last year. And so the parking on the
Okay, I'm
left,
sorry. If you state your name and address for the record,
Yeah,
I'm glad that you speak.
Kyle Russo, 74 Quincy Ave, Winthrop, but also owner of 26 Tapley Ave.
Thank you.
So we brought this in front of site plan review. And the left side parking spaces that you mentioned that are 8 by 18, roughly. So what the site plan review committee determined is that next to this parcel, on the left side, there is a strip of land that's owned by the city of Revere. I'm not sure what it's used for. It's basically just a patch of grass. And so they granted us, they basically said you can move forward with those 8-foot parking spots. And then they asked us to put all the parking in the middle between the two properties, and these are all 9 by 18. If the length of it is not shown here, I can certainly, I think that's just this line, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I can certainly get, an update from my engineer if you need that to be shown as 18, but I can confirm that those are all 9 by 18. Because that's the whole reason for the variance, is so that we can fit a 9-foot wide parking spot on the right side of 26 Tapley.
Okay.
That's why we nudged the property line
yeah,
over to
I-
get that in.
Site plan review did
Oh,
not
absolutely.
provide us any information pertaining to the 8 by 18 spaces. Is there any other member wish to speak?
I'm not showing the parking here. Is it?
You can't see it because it's such a small thing.
Yeah, that's why I pulled
If
it
you
out.
look at the big plan here, 8 by 18, 8 by 18, tandem, they're all tandem. This here doesn't say 18, but I would think that it is, just based on looking at the graph. I think it's quarter to this plan to scale. Yeah, but this is existing. 26 is the existing lot?
Yes, 26, it has the house on it. That's the existing house lot.
That's the one we have.
Otherwise, we'd be given a variance for a smaller parking space here. Yeah. No. I'd like to make a motion that this continue so that we could ask site plan review for more definitive information pertaining to number 26 on the left side, if they're going to allow, there's no easement shown for that lot for them to use anything on it, but perhaps the city would allow it. So there's a motion on the floor to continue,
Seconded.
seconded, I'd ask for a roll call.
Shall the zoning board of appeals continue this matter to the January meeting? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. O'Brien? Yes. Mr. Pelton? Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes,
Mr.
the matter will be
Chairman.
continued.
Yeah, so I have a plan now. What I'm showing in the title and on the deed is that my client still owns that strip of land that you referred to. And if I can hand this plan to you.
But that's fine. If he does, it's a blessing for him. But we still have to, they should be 9 by 18 then. So if you can do 9 by 18, that's
Right.
even better.
Right.
But
We'll
the plan
confirm.
has to depict
9
9 by 18s, or you'd have to ask for a variance for the size of 2 parking spaces.
Okay. When is the hearing in January? Do you know yet? '22nd.
Is January 22nd available for everybody? That would,
If I may just check my calendar. I sit on my local zoning board, and for some reason that rings a bell.
the last standards is the fourth Wednesday of the month, so
Okay, no, that works for us.
Okay.
That works for me, good.
So our next meeting would be the 22nd of January.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Thank you for
Alrighty.
your time.
Thank you.
Next application is A2430, Revere Mass Owner LLC, 602 West Office Center Drive, Fort Washington, PA, requesting multiple variances of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere to enable the appellant to consolidate numbers 96, 100, 140, 186, and 186A Lee Burbank Highway, subdivide the subject land into 2 lots, parcel 1 and parcel 2, and construct a technology-enabled warehouse and office space on proposed Lot 1, Lee Burbank Highway.
Good evening, council. State your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Nancy O'Neill. I am an attorney with D'Ambrosio LLP, located at 14 Proctor Avenue. I am here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Revere Mass Owner LLC, and I am joined tonight by Mr. Chris Roller, who is part of the Revere Mass Owner LLC development team, our project engineer, Mr. Dan Ketches of VHB Engineering, and also attorney Jerry D'Ambrosio of D'Ambrosio LLP. So Revere Mass Owner LLC and its sister company, Route 1A Owner LLC, own a series of industrially zoned parcels along Lee Burbank Highway, specifically 96, 100, 140, 186, and 186 Lee Burbank Highway, which I have an image of here. So these parcels are currently devoted to a series of disparate industrial uses and contain several dilapidated warehouse and utility tank buildings which are over 50 years old. So there are a number of buildings on these parcels. I also have an image of a different portion of the property. So the proposal here tonight is to consolidate the 5 lots that I named into 2 lots, demolish the outdated industrial buildings, and construct a modern, code-compliant, technology-enabled warehouse on the larger parcel A. The smaller parcel B and this proposal would be preserved for a potential maritime industrial use in future. So the 96 to 186A Lee Burbank Highway property is burdened by a number of challenging conditions which render the property particularly well-suited to variance relief. And as is more fully set out in our support letter of December 9th, 2024, which I hereby incorporate by reference into this presentation, the property is burdened by a unique 8-sided shape and is a long, narrow lot. So this unique and irregular lot shape complicates both the division of land into dimensionally compliant and usable lots and the placement of a functional industrial building and pertinent parking and loading facilities. So the plans before the ZBA have been carefully designed to represent the minimum amount of variance relief necessary in order to render the property suitable for development. So due to the unique shape and constraints of the property, division of the property into even dimensionally compliant lots is difficult, if not impossible. And additionally, the irregular and narrow shape of the property requires that any building is placed towards the rear property line, and any parking and loading areas are situated to the front and sides of the building adjacent to the right-of-way. So importantly, this configuration also increases safety by allowing for clear and easy access for fire and emergency vehicles off of Lee Burbank Highway, which I have an illustration of here. And for these reasons, the ZBA has ample grounds to grant the requested variance relief. So this proposed development has several benefits for the city of Revere. Firstly, the proposal will consolidate a series of neglected industrial parcels and improve the face of Lee Burbank Highway with a new state-of-the-art warehouse building. So this building will be a code-compliant building built to 2024 standards for industrial buildings and be much safer and greener than the current industrial buildings on the property. Attractive screening will be installed along the frontage of the property, including over 100 new trees where no trees or greenery currently exist. And the project will beautify a large stretch of frontage at the Gateway of Revere and be a merit to the city as Lee Burbank Highway continues to evolve and improve. So secondly, this proposal will also reduce traffic along Lee Burbank Highway, as estimated by project engineers VHB Inc. in their traffic study dated November 5th, 2024, and submitted to the ZBA as Exhibit C of the applicant's support letter of December 9th, 2024. The proposed project will result in 335 fewer vehicle trips per day along Lee Burbank Highway. Again, we are estimating 335 fewer trips per day as compared to current conditions. And this represents a huge reduction in traffic as part of this project. And as part of this project, curb cuts onto Lee Burbank Highway will be consolidated. So we anticipate that 6 existing curb cuts will be closed, which will result in further traffic improvements and increased safety along this corridor. So in short, this project is a great way to increase the economic base of the city without increasing congestion. So this takes me to a third major benefit to the city of Revere, which is increased tax revenue. So by a conservative estimate, the project will increase tax revenue from the property by around 60 to 70% to be over $400,000 per year. So this project would provide an economic benefit to the city for many years into the future. So overall, this project will transform a neglected industrial property containing several dilapidated industrial buildings into a state-of-the-art, technology-enabled warehouse built to 2024 code and safety standards with attractive screening and over 100 new trees. The proposed lot reconsolidation and warehouse plans represent the minimum amount of zoning relief necessary to develop the property and put the property to its highest and best use as a modern warehouse. And we expect, and this is conservatively speaking, a 60 to 70% spike in municipal tax revenue as part of this project to increase tax revenue to over $400,000 per year. So again, this project is a great way to grow the economic base of the city. This project also enjoys the support of Ward 1 Councilor Joanne McKenna, as well as the Revere Chief of Planning and Community Development, who has submitted a letter of support to the ZBA earlier today. So in summary, this is a minimally impactful project that will benefit the city of Revere for many years to come, and we respectfully request that the ZBA grant the requested relief. And as always, we are happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing that it's a public hearing, we'll ask if there are any proponents, anyone in favor?
Attorney Jerry D'Ambrosio, I just wanted to make it quick. This is one of those unicorn projects that you see pop up where communities really love them in many ways. You have a situation where you're going to have environmental cleanup of a contaminated area, similar to what's being done on the other side. Number two, you're going to actually have less traffic coming out of this new project than what's currently there. And not just a minimal amount, over 300 car trips a day. So we have an environmental cleanup, less congestion, and then on top of it, the tax base is going to grow. The tax revenue is expected well north of $400,000 a year to help offset the cost for the new high school. You know, I call it a unicorn project because I wish they were all like this. I really do, but they're not. So this, and that's why it has the support of the mayor, the mayor's office, the ward councilor, and really should have the support of everyone. And it's wonderful that the city is finally attracting this kind of deep-pocketed investor to do these kind of projects. Because again, they are unicorn-type events. Thank you.
Thank you for taking such a short time. I appreciate that. Any other proponents? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Members,
Yeah, I think it's a great project, and I'd like to make a motion to approve.
okay, I just have one question. Where the billboard is and where the Hertz is that corner now part of this parcel? If you're looking down, and then there's a roadway that goes down back where they used to have to, the ships would come in and they'd be traveling down. Is that part of this parcel?
So the Hertz parcel is not a part of this development.
Not the big Hertz parcel, but where there's signage and then it goes down to where the billboard is. I believe that is part of this. I just wanted to make it, just check it out.
So if I could just point out, so that roadway you're talking about.
Yep.
We're relocating it due south, so plan around here. So that roadway will be maintained against the property boundary with the Hertz parcel. So that parcel you're talking about now where excess tarmac equipment is
Exactly,
stored,
yep.
that will be consolidated into the development you see.
But it's gonna be part of the development that you're proposing.
Yeah, exactly. We're just taking that roadway, shifting it down.
And the billboard would remain on the parcel?
The billboard that's north of here,
No, the one that's to the,
that's not ours, yeah.
that's not, okay, so that's not on your parcel.
No, the billboard is not, the billboard's down here.
Excellent.
We have one billboard to the north that's being removed.
Okay. Thank you. And are the ships still gonna come in the back, or
Yeah, so that's why we've. carved
that's
out
why the
this
roadway is
portion
being
here.
altered?
So we've tied out this, call it 3/4 acre parcel here to tie with the dock, so.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
In fact, if I could elaborate on it, that's why we're asking for the subdivision, so that future development can also be accommodated on the piece that Chairman Tucker so shrewdly identifies. So it allows for even more development of that dock area later.
Great. Okay, there's a motion on the floor to approve. Standard conditions?
The standard conditions are as follows. Pursuant to the Permit Extension Act, Section 280 of Chapter 238 of the Acts of 2024, if the rights authorized by this variance are not exercised within 3 years of the date of the grant of this variance, the right shall lapse. This variance shall not be valid until the appellant has recorded this variance and plan in the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds and submits document recording numbers and dates to the city clerk and building inspector of the city of Revere, and the appellant must receive site plan review approval prior to applying for a building permit. Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Yes, Mr. Lopes?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Pelton?
Yes.
Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the variance has been granted, subject to those conditions. The Permit Extension Act provided for 2 additional years for permits issued in '23 and '24.
Okay, thank you. Very well presented.
Next Next application is A2431, Jason Santos, 16 Mountain Ave, requesting a variance of section 17-24010 with respect to maximum number of 2.5 stories within the RB district to enable the appellant to construct a third story to provide for increased living area for the owner's unit at 16 Mountain Avenue.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, board. Hello, members. My name is Dawan Campos. I'm the designer for this project, and here's the owner.
Jason Sanasuaso. It's a family home, it's actually,
Okay, just state your address, please.
at 20 Mountain Avenue.
Thank you.
So actually, I'd like to address that. On everything, it says, say 20 Mountain Ave, but on the paperwork, it says 16. So, and on the maps, it says 16.
That's probably to tax purposes. yeah.
Okay. Also, I'd like to add a couple letters on the record for in favor as well, if that's okay. All right. So, like stated on the application, we would like to get a special permit to do 3 stories instead of an allowed 2.5 stories to increase the owner's unit upstairs. It is a family home, so family lives on the first floor and they live on the second floor of the property. They would like to extend it as their family keeps growing. So everything would remain the same. Lot size, it is an existing non-conforming lot it is an existing conforming lot where minimum lot area is required 8,000, and we have 8,800. We have ample parking space for the family units there, so that's not gonna change. Setbacks will all remain the same, and the only difference is the proposed height, where existing is 26, we will be going higher to accommodate. What we're trying to do is we're going to create a mansard roof to create that additional living space and still maintain the character of the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you very much. Seeing that this is a public hearing, I'll ask if there's any proponents, anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Is there any opposition? Anyone opposed? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak?
Just extra space for the second floor?
Yes,
It's a 2-family home?
it is a 2-family home. It's going to be additional space for the second floor. So that's kind of one of the hardships as well. It would be a financial hardship because that's like where they live. So if to do an addition or anything like that, that would be much more expensive and substantial to add in the living space upstairs.
Okay.
So this is basically being for bedrooms?
Yeah, it would be an additional bedroom there and an extra living area.
Is there a motion to approve with our standard conditions? Seconded? Okay, would ask for a roll call?
Standard conditions are as follows. Pursuant to the Permit Extension Act, Section 280 of Chapter 238 of the Acts of 24, if the rights authorized by this variance are not exercised within 3 years of the date of the grant of this variance, the right shall lapse. This variance shall not be shall not be valid until the appellant has recorded this variance and plan in the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds and submits document recording numbers and dates to the city clerk and building inspector of the city of Revere. And the appellant must receive site plan review approval prior to applying for a building permit. Shall the Zoning Board of Appeals grant the relief requested subject to those conditions? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Yes, Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. O'Brien? Yes. Yes, Mr. Pelton? Yes. Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the variance has been granted, subject to those conditions.
Having no further business, our next meeting will be January 22nd. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy Hanukkah. Thank you.